Oh shit! I'm getting that notification up. Your connection is. Please wait while we try reconnecting. So we may have. Oh, timer's gone back to 0. It's gone at 10, 11, 12 seconds. Yeah, hopefully there won't be too much trouble. I don't know what the problem was last week. It kept on stopping, and yeah, that there you go. I'm going to be drinking. There we are, along with some mango juice. Okay, that will do it. Let's see, there's about an inch there. Yeah, that's how I measure my vodka now. How deep it is in the glass. There you go. You know what would be great if I had one of those little optic things. You know, that'd be pretty good. At least I know how many shots I'm drinking instead of just guessing. Anyway, there you go. Vodka along with some Coop orange and mango juice. There you go. I can't remember how much I bought these a couple of weeks ago. I can't remember how much they are, but you get a deal. About anything? I've got a few people watching. I can. Oh, one more's just joined us. There you go. Oh, hello. All right, what we got there? Yeah, boy, Reese. Give me some advice. I've just lost the best girl ever, and I need to know how to get her back. Shit. Well, you're asking the wrong guy here. The last person you want any relationship advice from me. Actually, I do know how old you are, but you know, I remember when I was young. You make mistakes, and you look back and think, oh shit. You know, that was a good one. You know, there's a decent person I lost there. It all depends. I mean, the thing is, yeah. I mean, if it's meant to be, it'll be. You know. Dave Dumper's in the house. Back. That's the thing. Does she want to be gotten back? You know. Maybe. Anyway. Yeah, about an inch of vodka, topped up with mango and orange juice. There you go. It's quite thick stuff, this. Anyway, yeah, but also the side effects of it. You know, I was going to chat about if anybody wants to chime in regarding the panic buying. You know, it looks pretty crazy. I mean, like most of us, all seen the videos of which, you know, seems fairly amusing on one hand, but sort of, you know, a bit sad and depressing on the other. I mean, who wants to see that in a, you know, civilized society? But yeah, you know, even the local co-op I was in today, I was in a few shops today, actually. I went with my brother to shop to get a few things, and later on I stopped in the co-op just to basically I stop at the co-op every few days, going there, you know, to pick up a couple of things and basically to see what is happening in the shop, to do with stock and customers and all this lot. And I was talking to the woman in the shop, and yeah, she was saying that they've had a double deliver. I tell you, you go in, the shops are you notice certain products. The only thing left is a few big joints, which probably they are the last things to go. But everything else, there's a few packs of bacon, but you know, pretty much everything else is gone. You know, the sausages, pretty much all the bacon. They've been gone for several days. Those 5 items, you know, you've seen me get the items. Get 5 items for £5. You get some burgers, some fish fingers, a bag of peas, you know, a bag of garlic bread, and a tub of ice cream, like 5 for £5. They're all gone. Okay. All the pasta is gone. I thought, well, I thought I'd pick up pasta if there's, but no, there's none. Not a single bag of pasta as well. You can put a lot of different ingredients in it. All the canned goods are pretty much gone. It's funny because the canned goods, everything from tins of soup to, and you travel further on the same aisle where all the jams are and the chutneys and all that, untouched. All the honey. Nobody's buying the honey. Nobody's buying marmalade, jam, condensed milk. Nothing. Those shelves are all full. You go and you keep on going down the aisle, and all the if you make your own bread and all those the shelves are empty. The self-raising flour. If you're going to make bread, you've got to use strong flour. A few hot dog buns, that kind of thing. A few of that. They got the tortilla wraps. There's a few of them left, but all the loaves of bread are gone. This Kirsty Clark. I'm terrible. I would have that vodka halfway up the cup. It must be the Irish in me. Chin chin. Yeah, actually, well, the thing is, I like vodka. I don't like it, I like it strong, but I just that's the thing. You put the vodka and the orange together. You taste it. You see which one it needs. A bit more vodka, a bit more orange. But I went into Carl, my brother. You've seen briefly. We was eating some burgers outside the Kentucky Fried Chicken in one video. Anyway, he showed up. We went to Asda supermarket, and I tell you what, there was a bunch of people in there, but it wasn't anywhere like you might call crowded. Walking around, same story. It's funny enough. All the cans were going first, right? There was still a bunch of cans left, but the cans were going first. I'll tell you what was funny. When I walked in, I was actually quite surprised because when you figure everybody's panic buying, right? You walk in and immediately you're confronted by the chicken strips in breadcrumb, all that kind of stuff. Nobody's buying those. Nobody's buying the veg or the fruit. They're all getting the canned. I went through all the aisles. I picked up a load of. So I'll be doing reviews on those. There's plenty of frozen stuff, but veg and pies, and so everybody's snapping those up. Not a troll says hello, glad to catch your stream. Excellent. In actual fact, did any of you that are 5 that are watching? Did you get notified that I'll be going live in like 45 minutes? Did anybody get that message? Because I found the little the YouTube have been screwing around with the functions again. It was 6. I thought I'd put the notified on it. Did anybody get that? Did anybody get 45 minutes notice that I'm doing a live stream? If they did, that's great. Go live and start, But this time I thought, what I do, I'll do a bit of notice. Nobody got the notification. Okay. Yeah. Oh, and I'll tell you what I noticed okay, nobody's writing. Yeah, I noticed in Asda at least there's loads of booze. At least loads of wine. I didn't check out the booze, but I could see the wines all there. Yeah, after we reached Asda, we drove down the road to Farm Foods, which is where I wanted to go. Went in, and again, there must have been for anybody, there must have been 6 people in there. Walked in, and immediately I noticed there's a lot of freezers that were empty, or they're down to their last 3 items in that particular guest freezer. It was crazy. So I walked around. Got the usual stuff. I got some chicken. What else I get? I got some pizzas. I tell you, there was not a whole lot going on there. There was some seafood. Some prawns, some this kind of shit. Some fish. There was quite a lot of chicken. I buy those chicken breasts. In a pack. They're I think they're £4 each, or you get like 3 for a tenner. Oh, that's it. A kilo of chicken breast. That's it. I think it was £4, but you get 3 of them for a tenner. And anyway, I bought some of that. Yeah, got some of those pizzas. There's Chicago Town. Those little ones. I tell you what, though, yeah, they're £1. In farm foods, you go to Asda, they're £2. My local co-op, they're £2. It's crazy. What else did I get? A small bag of potatoes, maybe 750 grams, that kind of size, a small bag for £3. Go to Farm Foods, you get a kilo, just over a kilo in a bag. You get 2 of them for £4. So I bought there was only 2 bags left of those, those particular brand. So I picked those up. But yeah, there was a lot of empty freezers. As you go around the shop, what do you? I always all the way through the shop, see what's what, and then start at the beginning again and go around and get one. There's no point going around the shop slowly and having your stuff defrost. So I go around to spend 10 minutes having a quick scan over everything, which there wasn't a lot to scan over, so and then start again. And what's this? Not a troll. I've only just turned my Wi-Fi on. It goes on to say, only fresh meat left around here was steaks in most supermarkets. Managed to get frozen chicken wings from Asda. Yeah. Yeah. I found there wasn't a whole hell of a lot of meat as such in Asda, the one I went to. There was a lot of frozen stuff. Frozen veg. Microwave dinners, that kind of thing. But yeah, I tell you what though, that's the thing. I've noticed, chicken pieces. There were some chicken legs. No, that was in Farm Foods. But the thing is, it's like, oh, your connection is unstable again. Shit. It's like at the co-op, all the cheap stuff seems to go first. In this case, in Farm Foods, pretty much everything, right? In the co-op, all these 17 pence aspirins, they're all gone. It's only the £2 medicines and above is left. And I think I'm getting a cold, actually. I think my nose is getting bunged up. But yeah, I'll tell you, it's the first time I've seen. I've thing going on before with the coronavirus, making people buy stuff, But yeah, it's the first time I've ever seen Farm Foods in such a state. Pretty much everything was empty. Not a troll says that he's got corona, and he's laughing out loud about it. Oh dear. In the southwest, not a troll says in the southwest. So what's that? So northeast, southwest. I was going to say that's it. Yes, but funny enough, I never heard anybody coughing and choking. And oh, Devon, you're from? Okay. I don't think I've ever been to Devon. I don't think. Been to Cornwall. Is that? I think I might be near there. But yeah, it's I haven't been leaving the house, and it's fucking connection's gone again. Your connection is unstable. Yeah, I haven't been leaving the house only in when I need to, when I need to get in the shop. That's about the only time I leave, But hopefully I'll be going back, brave the elements. Yeah, I was in the co-op. Yeah, the co-op a few hours ago, and like the place is getting bare. I mean, there's certain things that are not getting. The chocolate bars, they seem as normal. They're not getting touched. Oh, fucking connection's going again. I swear to Christ, it keeps saying nobody's eating. Cereals are going. The shop brands. Oh, fucking connection again. The shop brands are going. Of course, all like on most things, the shop brands will be going first. And yeah, not a troll says the stream's lagging quite bad. I know. Every so often it keeps coming up and saying that your internet, the connection's not great. Yeah, I had this last time. I don't know what it is. I had this the last one or two times I did a live stream. Anyway, does anybody have any questions for me? Because actually, I don't have many. There's not very high number of viewers today. But if anybody has a question or a comment, I've got a birthday coming up actually. What's it now? Just under, it must be 2.5 months. Early June. Gaz Clinton, have you got any bargains recently? Actually, well, the thing is, no, not so much. The co-op, being the fucking assholes they are, what they used to do was all the meat and all the good stuff, the stuff that didn't get sold by like Madge, that they used to be able to get 75% off. So if you get I don't know, say a pizza or steak or something for £4, 75% off that is so you get it for £1, but now they discount 25% of the price. It's fuck all, So on a £4 steak, you still have to pay £3. Fuck 'em. So what there, and you hang out and you drink some tea and stuff. Connection's unstable again. Yeah, what they do, they give it to them, and what they do, they put it in the freezer, the fridge or the freezer, depending on what it is. All the vegetables and the meat and whatever else, and what they do, they in the fridge freezer, and by then there's nobody about because it's almost closed. So what they do then, very next day, when it's out of date, they can't give the meat and stuff away to people who want it. So so now all the meat is wasted, which is a bit of a bastard because if I could buy it dirt cheap or anybody else, at least it'd be going to some a good cause. But when you give it to them, you can. Although I would imagine other shops are. I mean, I have got bargains out of Lidl's before. You go in there at the right time, or Tesco at the right time, or any of those. This is what the price was. This is what I paid for it. But now, like if I go to Farm Foods, for example, I take advantage of their 3 items for a tenner, for example. What they do is they do a whole bunch of these roasts. There's a roast chicken. No messing about. But you can have a gammon, you can have a turkey, chicken. So you get 3 of them for a tenner, or £4 each. So like with them whole ducks, they're £4.50 each, or 3 for a tenner. Anyway, yeah, I think, or £4. I don't know. Anyway, but you buy three things at a time. The whole place is full of them though. 2 for a £5, 3 for a £10. All these different things. So they're really the only bargains I managed to get. Not a troll. Do you eat the chickens you raise? No. Well, I used to have chickens back at the old place. I never ate the chickens. I just kept them as pets and as a source of eggs. I'll tell you what, though. Yeah, I mean, if you have the chance, they're worth keeping. Keeping chickens because each one I had bantam. Well, I had both types, the big ones, and I had bantams. I had between 8 and 10 bantams of small chickens. You know, I liken them to, the best way I can describe is they're about about 1/3 the size of a regular big chicken, but they're they're like a fat pigeon, about that size. You know, you imagine a really fat pigeon, cheap to feed, and there are lots of ways. In fact, I did 3 videos. One of my early videos, I think I did 3 of them. When I kept chickens, I think it was called. If you type in Mark's remarks, when I kept chickens, I stand in the kitchen there for ages. This is, before I knew what I was doing, I was standing there for ages just talking, describing how you can feed your chickens for really next to nothing. All these little tricks, where to get free food, how to get cheap food for them, how to subsidize their diet, because you've got to pay for grain. And like what I used to collect all the tin cans, the drinks cans off the floor in the street, put them in a bag, take them down the scrapyard, get money for them, to use the money to buy seed. So basically, I got seed for free. But you can make that seed go even further with these little tricks that I invented to subsidize their feed and give them a good diet. But no, to answer your question, I just had them for eggs and for my own amusement. Gaz Clinton, I usually go to Tesco on the way home from work around 10 p.m. and get a bag full of reduced stuff for a £5. Actually, yeah, I suppose, if you can, because we have a few of those 24-hour Tesco's. Of course, they're not staying 24 hours now because they need to shut the place down just to be able to fill the shelves up, So they're shut down for a while each day. But yeah, that makes sense. Going in there after work, if you're doing a 2 till 10, because that time of night, I would imagine shoppers would be pretty thin on the ground. So yeah, I mean that would be a good time to, because they can't keep it beyond midnight. So if you get there 2 hours before midnight, you probably get some great bargains, I would imagine. Not a Troll says they let homeless people into the bins to eat out of the out of date food, but someone sued the supermarket. Now they lock them. That's a story I heard anyway. Well, you're giving it away free. Somebody's gonna take advantage and figure, well, I've got food poisoning, so sue you. But yeah, I mean, when I worked for the shopping centre, the Milton Keynes shopping centre, I used to work there years ago when I was about 18, 20 years old. Anyway, you got your centre on the ground floor, just like a shopping mall, and then upstairs is where the service road is. That's where all the deliveries. It's like a big circular road. All the deliveries go in there, and yeah, Mark. Sometimes our job was to take the Eurocar. We had this tractor, or they go into the compactor. We used to, pull out all the sandwiches. Fucking hundred, well, I say hundreds, dozens and dozens of sandwiches, because not all of them were, in any kind of condition to be salvaging. But yeah, we tried to fill up as many boxes as we could, take them downstairs, share them out, this kind of thing. Yeah, and then they put a stop to that. McDonald's, that was a good one. Of course, because like I say, on the top of the road where all the deliveries are, what you do, if you go to the McDonald's back door, not back door, delivery door, and you hang out there, what you could do, when this is back before they, like now, and you fucking stand there forever because they're going to make your burger to order, right? In the good old days, they used to just make them and put them down the little chute, and you to come up to the till, right? You have a Big Mac, they just grab it, right? Now you got to wait 5 minutes for them to make the fucker. So when in the morning, let's do the breakfast, muffins and big breakfast, and although they stopped the big breakfast, but they had big breakfast at that point. Anyway, so you get up there at a couple of minutes past 10. All the breakfast and the muffins that were cooked and put on the little, the little ramp, behind the till, that weren't sold. They used to put them in a box, take them up to the bin upstairs. Say, hey, do you want these? Just give them a couple of cigarettes. They'd give you a box of goodies for a couple of smokes. It used to be good. So you'd be up there eating yourself to death on McMuffins. Not a troll. Did you get attached to them? Yeah, I mean, you do. You talk about the chickens. Hello, Paul Villis. Hello to you. You do look like a pet. I mean, these weren't. I mean, it's not like a dog or where a dog will live in your house and you get attached to it. This is a different kind of attachment where they're in your garden, they're doing their own thing. They sort of, they can fend for themselves fairly much. You got to look after them, of course. You go out there, they'll come to you and they'll eat out your hand. Yeah, you put some grain in there, they'll eat out your hand. What's funny is if I was in the garden and I'd be working, there'd be a plant pot with some plants in it on the floor. Oh, my nose is itching. On the floor, and of course you he'll just see that as a branch. You just jump onto your arm, and it's crazy. Once they learn that you're not there to harm them, they just come straight to you. And the trick is as well, if you're in the garden, because they're crapping all over the because you've got a dirt area for them. You with a path down the middle. Their house and their run was on the left side of the path, and there's a big churned up dirt area on the right, but a path in the middle. Because they're crapping all over, you got to turn the dirt over. You go in with a fork, turn it over, so that way the manure is buried and they're not, walking in it or anything. So you turn over the dirt regular. And what they do, once they see you with that fork, then they start running towards you, because they know that when you're digging in the ground, you're turning over that dirt, the worms that are underneath are now at the top. So, that they learn quick. Not a troll. The stream is laggy for me. I have to keep rejoining. Or is it just me? I don't know. I haven't seen that thing come up for a little while, but then I haven't really noticed it. But I don't know what the fuck's going on. The internet is really shit. Normally, it's when the weather's bad. If it's like really cloudy and raining, then the internet starts to slow down and takes forever to load stuff. Willis says, "Yeah, it's laggy as fuck." Yeah, if it gets any worse, I'll just have to call it a day and sort of try and come back another day. All right, Gaz Clinton, what's your opinion on the whole coronavirus? Well, my opinion in its opinion is it is not good news. And do you agree with a full lockdown? Well, that's the thing. I don't agree with. I mean, they haven't done it yet, but I know the Americans will be the first ones to do it if it happens. Is martial law? The trouble is with martial law. I mean, in England, we sort of like we wouldn't take that sort of thing too seriously because we're citizens and we're taxpayers. All right, you still get people going out because people got to leave. I mean, you got fucking dogs that need walking. You got to get out there and get some fresh air. As long as you don't sort of hang around other people too much, you got to get some air. You can't be. You go crazy if you stay in the house with a bunch of people. But it's interesting. I've seen programs. You remember when Katrina hit and New Orleans got flooded? It was like 20 foot deep, the fucking water. Get them out of the area. A lot of people didn't want to go. They were afraid of looters and whatnot, thieves. So they opted to stay in their own homes and guard their own homes. Then the police decided to get them out of their homes at gunpoint. And I fucking shit you not, there'll be a bunch of police on a boat with rifles pointing at homeowners to get them out of their own homes. That's the trouble with martial law. So on the one hand, I mean, they'll argue they were doing the right thing, of course. As a citizen, being ordered out of your own home at gunpoint is, not altogether a good thing. But I mean, we're not going to have that here. Mainly because some crazy reason we don't arm our police officers. The only way it might happen is if the army was called in, but the army are not usually armed when they're patrolling the streets anyway, unless you live in Northern Ireland. But just patrolling the streets, they won't be armed. The only way they will be armed is civil unrest. But that really doesn't happen. Even in riots, they don't send in the army. Fucking hell. With the Brixton riots and all that lot, that's when you need the army with guns. Go in there and fucking sort them out. Instead, what we do is we send the police. I've got to get to the shop. I've got to, I've got to take the dog for a walk. What'll happen is the thieves, I think, will see it as an open opportunity, while I can see the house burglaries. Well, I'm going to get the stuff, and I'm not going to spend any money doing it. House burglaries will go. Thieves, being the scumbags that they are, they're not going to take any notice about staying indoors. Connections unstable again. They're not going to stay indoors. They don't think because I mean by definition they're not what you might call decent citizens. So they're going to be out taking the to rob cars, I think. Yeah. I was thinking, not a troll says, be thinking it was the weather, but it's big weather comes in. Gaz Clinton, I reckon the internet service providers are struggling to keep the connection, as my internet has been iffy the whole day. Indeed. Yeah, I find my YouTube is fine. It's just the live stream. Off to concentration camps and cure us, in quotes. Cure us. The what was it? What they used to call it, the final solution, or anyway, concentration camps. Yeah. See, the trouble is, I mean, somebody on the internet suggested, well, why don't we quarantine all the old people, get all the old people over 60 into, segregate them, so so that they'll be, they won't catch it, and if they do catch it, they won't be giving it to everybody else and all the rest of it. What a doctor pointed out that it's not just the old people; it's basically anybody can get it. Only the very young and the very old are going to get it the worst. And the thing is, they said also, well, if you segregate all the old people into concentration camps, for lack of a better word, all it takes is one of those carers. She cares for people who are inches from death. One of these terminally ill people. Supermarkets, they shut down. They have special times on special days where only emergency types can get in there. I read it in Asda. I read it on a poster. I didn't take too much notice because I'm not qualified, in that group. But certain times of certain days, if you're in a care, I don't know, nurse or doctor or whatever. And what she's doing, it's funny. Well, not really. She's a carer. She's employed by these company so she goes in and looks after these terminally ill people. Now that the coronavirus is happening, I think they've stopped their service. They're pretty much. So what my mum's doing, I don't know when any others are doing, but she's taken it upon herself to drive around to supermarkets trying to get these poor fuckers supplies and stuff, because that's the kind of situation that we're in now. If you're old, you've been a taxpayer. It's all great, they'll send a carer around to your house and cook you dinner, and as soon as tragedy happens, that's it. Full stop, and basically you're screwed unless one of them will, I mean, that's what she's driving around. Yeah, she's going around all supermarkets to pick up bits and pieces for them. She's not getting paid. But that's what the country's like now. That's what this fucking country. If you're old and you're sick, you are fucked. Yeah. I was watching. I was watching the movie Spies Like Us the other day with Chevy Chase and Dan Aykroyd, and there's a scene where Aykroyd and Chase are in a tent, and all the doctors have just marched out the door, and then suddenly a golf ball comes flying in, and but that's what it's like, If you're old and you're sick, you're pretty much boned, Yeah, I can imagine if you're a prisoner. I mean, I've never been in prison. I don't know anybody, not that I know of, that's been in prison. But I can imagine, from what I've seen of documentaries on foreign prisons, mainly American prisons, there's maximum security types. If someone like they get treated, apparently, I mean, it's not exactly a good life. But I've seen a few shows on English prisons, once in blue moons. They're not very interesting, but I'm pretty certain that they'll get some pretty good care. If they get sick, they're going to get quarantined. They don't got to worry about loaf of bread. It's they're all at the taxpayers' expense. I reckon they're not missing out on any fucking dinners. And if they need segregating, great. That's just my opinion on that matter. Like I said, I've never been to prison, but I've seen television shows, documentary types in that. Okay, well, look. Does anybody want to chip in and ask a question? I'll give you my opinion on the. It may not be correct or true in any sense, but it'll be the truth as I see it. If anybody wants to throw in, I mean, there's not many people watching at the minute. Okay. Well, look, what I'll do, I'll just be waffling on. What I'm going to do is for the next 12 and a half minutes, we'll call it exactly an hour. All right. It's 47. It's coming up to 48 minutes. So another 12 minutes. If there's anything, because there's nobody watching hardly that, Yeah, I don't know what it is. I had loads of people saying to me, when are you going to go live? When are you going to go live? I go fucking live and nobody's watching. I don't honestly know. I mean, again, I'm going to make another move. So I've got a box set of up here of Deadwood. The one with Ian McShane, who used to be in Lovejoy. You got that guy Oliphant, who's Sheriff Bull or Bullock. Somewhere through the season, there's an outbreak of cholera or something, and there's a line in the movie where they're trying to write in the newspaper, trying to alert all the townsfolk about what the situation is, and what Ian McShane's character says, it's not. I've actually dealt with this before in another town. All right, is it pretty? It's not a very pretty thing. With the Black Death, I was watching a show on the Black Death. I think something like 40% or 40 or 60%. There's no cure for it like there is now, but I mean, they didn't know what was going on. They didn't know to stay indoors and ride the fucker out, But that's the key, It's like it's like when you get a cold. We've all had the cold. We've all had the flu. What do? You've got two choices. Either you go to work and alive by passing it on, or ride the fucker out and it'll die. All right, give it a week and it will die. So there's your two choices. You can keep it alive by passing it on, or just stay locked away and just let the thing. This thing, because the only way it's going to stay alive is people, deliberately going out and keeping it, passing it from one person to another, That's it'll just go on forever, But if you stay indoors and just let it ride its what am I talking about? Just let it, ride it, just let it burn itself out. That's what you do. So the quarantine is quite a good idea. So what self quarantine is, because every time you leave the house, you sort of putting yourself and everybody else at risk. Just stay indoors. If you have it, or you're thinking about having it, or you know somebody who's got it. If you know somebody who's got it, just lock them up in the loft or in the garage or somewhere. Just make them as comfortable as you can. Keep them away from everyone. Or a how to cook squirrel stew for the apocalypse. Yeah, well, I'll tell you what. If I wouldn't, if I was in a position where, if I had a home, I could probably eat squirrel. I've never killed an animal, cleaned it up, gutted it, cooked it. At the moment, the shops are getting replenished. Admittedly, they're coming in with double deliveries, and every fucker's buying double, treble the amount of everything they can get their hands on. But you imagine if the deliveries stop, the shops would have been bare a week ago, 2 weeks ago. And then you've got, I tell you what, though, the minute the shops, because at the moment, there's very little going on, no bread, and the shelves are fairly bare, but we're still getting deliveries. If the deliveries stop, that's when people will be fighting in the street. There'll be, people will be, where the world's gone to shit. There's no more resources. How long does it take for people to turn on each other? The reason why they haven't is because they can go down the supermarket. There may be little limited resources, but there is stuff there. Once that stops, it'll take 4 days, 7, well, definitely within a week, because there's people who haven't, who will run out of certain stuff. But yeah, give it a week, and there'll be people sort of, breaking into people's houses and that, and I don't know what the police presence will be. I don't know. I would imagine they're trying to keep the service going, or what they call it, the police service. It's the fucking police force, right? But they're trying to keep the police action going as best they can, I would imagine. But they're going to have sick people, especially when you've got, say, policemen interacting with citizens. They're going to be on the front line along with doctors and nurses and shopkeepers and stuff. They're dealing with people, so they're going to catch you double quick before anybody else. So when you've got a shortage of police, that's when people will be thinking, right, they'll start to, law and order will disintegrate. I watched like the whole season of that a couple of years ago. Doomsday Preppers. There was a family who bred rabbit for them. Not like, I've said it before, us stupid English motherfuckers will, the Americans, the ones who've got any fucking sense, they have a garden, they start growing their own food. In their head, they're thinking, well, why the fuck should I work to go to the supermarket to buy vegetables when I can grow my own, be self-sufficient? And I tell you, they were on one of the episodes, I'm paraphrasing, I think, but on one of the episodes years ago, that they were saying that in a doomsday scenario, you can be a bank manager, you can be, a pilot, you can be manager of a warehouse, you can be a taxi driver, anything you want, right? But in a doomsday scenario, it's the guy who can grow his own food. They're the ones that are going to survive. If you don't know shit and you're only used to, like 95, 99% of the bloody population probably only knows how to go down the supermarket and buy their stuff. That Jamie Oliver did a thing where he's going around schools trying to fix up the schools' dinners, the shitty school dinners we got. Fucking kids don't even know what a carrot was. He'd show them a carrot. I don't know. Fish finger. I don't know. Show them a lettuce. They don't know what the fuck that was. But if you can grow your own food, It's a skill which you can take anywhere. You know, if you need to hold hold the fort in your own house, turn it. If you need to up sticks and move 30 miles, I mean, look at these the day when they were trying to run the world. They would go into a country, they would hold a castle siege, or I was telling you about in the last live stream about the Jews that were on top of the really high mountain in the desert. And there was a big gully, and they filled in the gully to make a ramp that goes. I can't remember what the fuck that place was called. Anyway, those people up there, they were growing the right. They had lots of water. That's about outlasting a siege when when the Romans were wreaking havoc on the world, right? And it's the same principle now. Well, we don't have Romans from being too weak to do anything about your starvation, you know. So yeah, people who know. I mean, it's not as easy as you think. I mean, I've done some gardening. All right, I've done a little bit. I'm in no way a professional, or but I can work my way. I know how to grow certain plants because each plant to grow different times of year, different temperatures, different amounts of water, all kind of shit. Every fucking vegetable is different. And if you know these things, you've got a bit of chance to, I'll tell you, because like I say, once those trucks stop rolling, in a week's time, there'll be people hitting you over the head with a 2x4 for the contents of your fridge, so which is where firearms comes in, which unfortunately we don't have access to in this country. But yeah, those Americans, if they, like you mentioned there on the what's it called, Doomsday preppers, if you've got some land, grow your own food. Even if, I mean, I'll tell you, if I had a garden, which I'm trying to get an allotment, because that's the nearest thing I'm going to be able to fucking have around here. Imagine if you like now we're in shit, right? The country. If you had the skills now to grow your own food, right? It's a bit late to learn now, but not too late. Imagine if 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years ago, you decided to grow your own food, even if you don't eat the stuff. Give it to your neighbors, give it to the fucking poor, throw in a canal, do it, but learn the skills. Buy your stuff in the supermarket. Doesn't matter. The point is that you're gradually learning these skills and you're passing these skills onto your kid. Because you imagine to self-sustain yourself and you have a small child, that child has been learning those skills over the next 20 years. He would, or she, I guess, would be in a perfect position right now to go bang straight there. I'm into growing my own stuff now. Never mind about look at books and the internet and think, oh shit, I don't know what's going on. How do I do this? They would have 20 years. If you'd have showed them 20 years ago how to grow their own food, they would be surviving right now. And also people now, if you've got it for what it's worth, have a small area of it. Have the whole, whatever area you want of that garden, dedicate it to growing your own food. Like I say, you don't have to eat it. Just use it as practice. If the vegetables turn out to be all misshapen, rotten fucking piece of crap, chop them up, put them in the compost bin. If they're any good, if you like, give them to your neighbors. Use this time when the virus is over. Use the time to learn this skill. And once you've learned it, teach it to your children. So in 20, 30, or 40 years' time, when this thing happens again, because it will happen. I mean, it's happened before and it will happen again. It just happens to be our unlucky fucking fault that, or luck that it's happening to us when we're dead and gone. And if you teach them now how to grow their own produce, they will have a leg up on everybody who's depending on the trucks showing up at the local supermarket. There you go. Not a troll. Just teach a man to fish. Exactly that old saying. Teach a man to fish, and give a man a. If you teach a guy how to grow carrots and potatoes, you know, he'll be able to grow his own stuff and feed himself for forever, you know. Because I mean, it may sound a bit melodramatic, you know, because I mean, we're not used to this. We're not used to this fucking doomsday bullshit that we're going through now. I mean, Christ, I mean, it's. I mean, I'm coming up to 50 in a couple of months. We've had a few virus breakouts, I think. You know, persuading people to stay indoors, don't go to work, close the schools. You know, nothing on this level. There's been a few before, but nothing on this level. You know, so you figure if that's the age, you think, right? Listen, son, daughter. You see the shit that we're in now. The supermarkets are going, you know, selling everything out of stock. Pretty soon, all it needs is one of those little groups of people in a chain to be out of the equation, and we're fucked. No more deliveries. So if you've got a small child now, now's the time to be teaching them. So by the time they are 50 years old, they will have the skills to not be starving. Because I tell you, I shit you not. You mark my words. I don't want to, you know, be the, you know, you look at this and think, oh yeah, old Mark was right, you know. It. I'll tell you. I don't know what it is. Yeah, maybe somebody was right there. You know, maybe it's the YouTube people. They're all off sick and they're not. You know, the system's going. Not a troll says I've got my bug out bag ready. Well, that's the thing. A bug out bag is when you, from you know, from what I understand, for the Doomsday programs I used to watch, you've got all your emergency stuff. You've got like a few days worth of food. You've got some ammunition, some weapons, some clothing. It's something you can grab, throw in the back of your car, and drive away. But see, that's the thing. That's not going to help you. Where the fuck are you going to go? So, I mean, unless you mean a storage bag full of essentials, but then you wouldn't need them in a literal bag or anything. But having you know, storing certain items, you know, soaps and laundry powder, things like this. Have it dedicating a cupboard or dedicating a spare room or dedicating an area in the loft or the basement or the garage, you know, to store stuff that's separate from the household stuff. I mean, what you do is when you buy, you know, what you do, you buy a few things, put them in the storage area, put them in the back of the heap, and use the stuff at the front. So you've got a constant turnover. And you know, but that's the thing. It's an eye opener because I mean, I've done it to an extent, and you do it when it takes something like this to happen, you realise, think, okay, well, I did a good job there, storing, you know, certain things, you know, washing up liquid, bars of soap, that kind of thing. But I need to increase this over here, you know. But it takes something like this to happen. When you know, for you, so when this is over in months to come, weeks or months to come, you know, all you people out there could be thinking, right, well, I remember when I used to remember a couple of months ago, we used to go to the co-op and the fucking place was bare. There was no cans, all the bread, you know, bog roll is like gold dust, you know. So you use the information that you've learned to prepare, and you know, teach the young ones. Say, listen, when you were young and we had this fucking virus going around, this is why we do this. This is why we prepare for the next doomsday, you know. Because I mean, yeah, they call it the zombie apocalypse, but I think, you know, most people know we're not expecting the fucking zombies to be rising from the dead, right, from the ground and wreaking havoc. It's just a headline. Zombie apocalypse. It can be anything from a meteor strike to a tsunami, an earthquake. You know, the Great Fire of London happens all over again. It could be Could be anything. Oh fuck, a virus outbreak like now. It all comes under zombie apocalypse. Basically, it's the shit hits the fan scenario, you know, and who is going to be prepared for it, you know? Yeah, so you know, if you have a piece of land, dedicate a small area to it. Just learn the skills to grow food. Oh, Ben Varley. Oh, I've seen you for a while, I don't think. Ben Varley. Hi, Mark. Hope you're well. But yeah, I got a blocked nose, but you know, I'm doing all right. Alex Six Smith. Hi, Mark. What about those bloody idiots going out buying too much bog roll? Yeah. Well, all the shops are selling out, right? But my brother Carl today, he was telling me that he went to the market up the Notting Hill shopping centre, and there's a guy, and he said, you know, the funny thing is, it's my brother. He says everybody's buying bog rolls, but nobody's. I mean, last week when I was actually surprised. You know when they're talking about the bog roll shortage. In an emergency, the first thing that goes is the fucking water. You know, but nobody's out there bulk buying that stuff. You know, you'd figure soap would be on the especially when they talk about you've got to wash your hands every time you go out and come back in and keep the virus under control. You know, not a troll. You can't be safe in a heavily populated area in a pandemic apocalypse. And not a troll wants to go hide in the forest. He'd be the safest. You know. Well, you know, these. You know, when you watch, you know, old Victorian, you know, documentaries about old Victorian London and, you know, the outbreak of the Black Death and all this kind of caper. What they figure is that when people lived in small villages, it was, you know, the idea was if an outbreak happened in a village of 150, 200 people, you know, or whatever, you know, the idea was some guy would die. He would go off in the woods to fucking, you know, if he's got a disease, he'd go off in the woods to die somewhere, or he'd try and get from one village to try and get some help from the other village. It'd take him 4 days to get there, and he'd be dead halfway, right? So then the plague would stop, you know, pretty much. I mean, it wouldn't stop like that, but I mean, it would help decrease the infection rate because people died before they could go to the next town and spread it. So it was contained. Then you've got things like London City, right, where you've got thousands upon thousands of people. Back in the Victorian days, they were living in squalor, so you got fucking thousands and hundred, you know, several thousands of people all living in squalor, all living on top of each other, all living 6 deep. You know, it's just then that's when an outbreak like that happens, then it's all hell. Hell breaks loose. You know, because I mean, everybody's living on top of each other. Everybody's living in, you know, these crummy apartments. The outbreak spreads like mad, you know, and there's no quarantining that. You just got to ride that fucker around till it kills half the people, and you know. Whereas now we're slightly better off, although we live in big cities. We know a little bit more about how to contain these sort of things. I mean, we don't have a cure for it as of yet, because it's a brand new. Well, not, you know, it's not brand new, but we don't have a cure for it, but we know enough how it spreads, and the way you stop it is to lock yourself away and stay the fuck away from everybody, you know, which they had no idea back in those days. But the idea is when you've got, like whoever that was, not in a warehouse, you know, you can have over 100 people working in there at any one time, you know, and then, you know, because I mean, then you've got 3 shifts going 24 hours a day, right? But you can have at any one time, you can walk in, you can have 100 people in that warehouse, you know, and that's just in a warehouse. And then you've got shops, you know, cab driver picks up somebody, drops them off, 10 minutes later, picks up somebody else, drives them 10 minutes over there, picks up somebody else. So many ways that it can get spread about. Plus, you know, there's dirty cunts like that who are going to keep this thing from dying. They're going to keep it going. Alex Sixsmith, what you drinking tonight, Mark? Well, I'm drinking vodka. My Co-op's own brand vodka. I can't remember how much this was. About £18, something like that. Maybe if somebody works for Tesco, they can remind me. But I bought it quite a few weeks ago. In fact, it's more like 3 months ago. The thing is, I don't really. If I'm drinking it, I'll drink sort of a fair amount. But as you can see, it's fairly new an amount. Not enough to get drunk and fall over like a dumb shit, like a kid. Orange and mango. It's quite nice actually. I think it's £1.50, but you get a deal for two cartons. Can you hear that? There's a dog barking next door. I'd say downstairs. I was going to do a live stream the other day, and downstairs was screaming and shouting. Lucky I didn't do a live stream because that would have messed up the communication. Anybody got any questions? I'd say there's not a lot of people watching today. Normally there you go. Oh, just got an extra one. Hello, whoever that was that just tuned in. Welcome to you. It just turned an extra one while I was talking. But if anybody's got any questions, whoever that was is gone. No, actually, right. It's the 23rd today. Their note that they sent through the door the other day, a few days ago, said if I contact them by the 25th, then they're going to put me on the serious naughty list. They're going to investigate it even further. Thing is, every year they used to send me a letter saying, we realize you don't have a license. Can you confirm why you don't have a license? If you don't need one, then let us know by writing, email, phone call, whatever you want. Just tell us you don't need a license, you don't have a telly, and we'd take you off the register for another year. Now, I was doing that for about 3 or 4 years. I've got them stuck on my fridge. I used to write on it the day that the date that I phoned, so I keep it as a record. After about 3 or 4 years, I'm thinking, what the fuck am I? Can't be bothered every fucking year just to ring them up to say, no, I don't have a license and I don't have a fucking telly. To fuck off. So I figured, what I do, I just ignore them, right? So that's what I've been doing. So every couple of months, they send me a letter saying, you've got to write to us or let us know. Otherwise, we're going to have somebody come around and visit you. So we're going to have time for you to come round, and then you can just show up while I'm in. Otherwise, I'm going to be out at work. They said, no, we can't do that. No, we just send people around at random. All right, fine. So now the company, if they've ever been round, it's when I've been at work. And even if I am in, they're not fucking coming in. I've been watching these the programs on the TV license. A camcorder down to the front. So they say in the next, if I don't reply to them in the next 2 days, then I'm going on the list. Oh, here it is. Oh, this is what they put through the door. When I saw it sticking in the letterbox, it says here, been printed. It's not been handwritten. Card delivered. It's been printed. Says by hand. Action required. Telephone number, tick. Website, 24 hours, tick, like this. And you look at it, and at first glance, you think, I must admit, when I got this through the letterbox, I was looking at it thinking, wait a minute, I'm not expecting a parcel. The Royal Mail have been, and why haven't the Royal Mail banged on the door? Because it says here that you are out or I think it says when you were out or something. Or the reason why they've sent this is because I out when they tried to deliver a parcel. I'm thinking, well, no, I haven't been out all fucking day. Thinking it's from the post office. Right? So I opened it up. Turns out it's from the TV license people. If we don't hear from you by the 25th of March, 2020, which is in 2 days, we will escalate our investigation. Oh, yes, I'm really... dear legal occupier. How do they know? How do they know I'm a legal occupier? Anyway, as there is no record of a license at this address, your home has been authorized for a visit by our TV license enforcement officers. They will drop by at any time, daytime or evening, weekends or weekdays. So, yeah, I kind of got that when they said they could drop by any time. I sort of implied that meant daytime, evening, weekdays, weekends. So, well, you know, they thought they'd just write that in there anyway. Yeah. So when they show up, of course, I've been saying this up and down that you know, you don't let them in. Oh, they'll threaten you. Oh yeah, well look, let us in. You could be, you know, we'll get this all sorted. We'll check you down on telly, and then you don't have to go to court. And you know, anyway, so they're not, you know, so they're not coming in, even if they got a policeman with them. When I do something different, except when I film in the chickens, they didn't like that much. But you know, I'll film it, and it'll be something different to for people to watch. Do you like dogs? Get the stream. Do you like dogs? Get I don't know what the fuck. Well, you know, yeah, I like dogs, you know, but I don't have one. Got a troll asks, everyone's got corona, or says everyone's got corona. Yeah, well, you never know. I mean, it could be like some viruses where it's like dormant without showing any signs for a while. How the government works. Oh, underneath it, but fear. Oh yeah, fear tactics. Exactly. You know. Yeah, it's amazing, and the thing is, they're like police officers as well. In a way, they're not by any stretch got any authority like a police officer, but they're like police officers in the way that they are allowed to lie to you. The police officers are allowed to lie. They can lie out their ass all fucking day. You try it, you're in trouble. And then it's the same with the TV license blokes when they show up at your door. They can lie out their ass about all kinds of stuff, about how much authority they have, how much trouble you're going to get in, how much fucking this, that, and the other. They can lie all day. And which is why I've been watching all those videos of people filming the TV license people. So I'll be hopefully I'll be ready. I'll be filming it. I mean, the thing is, I won't be giving them too much shit. I'll just be, you know, explaining that I don't have a license and no, you can't have, you know. But first of all, I'm going to be wanting to see their identification. That's the thing, because they're very reluctant. They'll show it to you, quick as a flash. Right, there you go, in your pocket. As you go, whoa. You know, even if they identify themselves by name, they still don't want their ID card shown, because you can see you're filming their face, and in some cases they've volunteered when you've asked them. Only when you've asked them, they'll volunteer their name. But when this information's on an identification ID card, ID thing, that's different. They don't want that shown. Alex Sixsmith, yeah, the connection's dodgy. Yeah, I tell you, I'll probably call it a day. Actually, I said I was going to stop this at an hour. It's an hour and 27 minutes. Yeah. Well, the thing is, there's not really. I mean, talking about an hour and a half, there's very few people watching. You know, which you know, I'll waffle on all night if there's people watching, but you know, there's not very many. Yeah. Tell you what though, if anybody wants, you know, you can hit the thumbs up. That would help the channel, because you know, as a YouTube video maker, I have access to lots of graphs and charts and all video this week, this month, the last 3 months in the lifetime of the channel, which is your most popular by hours, which is your most popular by ad revenue, which is the most popular, how many clicks it's most popular, and also which is most popular by hours watched, minutes watched, this kind of thing. And I've derailed. What the fuck was I talking about? Oh, that was it. And it also says what my channel percentage. My channel percentage, I think, is like 71%, 71.2 or something. While the 920 something videos I've got, you count up all the thumbs up, all the thumbs, like two-thirds, I guess, pretty much. Unpopular. Oh fuck. So if anybody wants to add to that, and maybe see if we can get that. Oh fucking! I'm looking at the connection's gone again. I feel like I might want to sneeze or blow my nose or something. Anyway, but yeah, so 71% or something. So if anybody wants to help that, maybe on my cookery videos, maybe always hit the thumbs up, see if we can get that up a bit. Anyway. Show, but I did what I liked a bunch of episodes of that Phoenix Nights where both of them were in. That was quite funny. That was a long time ago. Yeah, that was actually quite good. I like that show. That Peter Kay, he played two characters. He played the guy in the wheelchair, and he played the bouncer on the door, along with that Max. Well, one of them was Max, and the other one was Paddy. I don't know which fucking one's which. Anyway. Anyway, look at that. It's an hour and a half. Okay, I'm going to call it a night. Yeah, anybody after this is done, you can put your comments in and whatnot. And I'll do another stream in a few days. I'll be putting my usual videos. I mean, I'm starting to do a few videos that are more on the economy side to trying to make dinners with limited resources. Being that there are people watching that might be thinking, well, the cupboard might not be stocked up as well as it might be because of the situation. So I'll be trying to do a few videos on getting the most out of your products. But in the meantime, I've also got videos on the computer which are over a week, maybe a couple of weeks old. Like some of those George Foreman grills. I did a whole bunch of those, but I've been staggering them out every loading one every like 4 days or something. So it looks like I've been eating sandwiches every day for the last fucking 2 weeks. But I've not. I've just had a few days making different sandwiches and spreading them out. Anyway, try brewing your own booze. Indeed. Yeah, I've known people who have done it, but that's the thing. I mean, it's not as straightforward as you know. There's some learning involved. Anyway, okay. Well, thank you everybody for watching. If you haven't already, you've got a few seconds. Craig Tube. Not a troll says, watch Craig Tube. Oh, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to start watching some of those episodes again. Fuck me, what's it called? Doomsday Prepper. I watched them a few years back. I'm going to start watching the whole. There's a lot of fruitcakes on there. Some of the information on there is just they're fucking loonies. All right, but there are for every 10 stupid things that are on, they film. I mean, basically they've gone around the housing estate, asking anybody who's a doomsday prepper, no matter how stupid fucking ideas you come up with, you can be on film, and you get some dumb bastards. But for every 10 stupid motherfuckers there's one guy that's got a good idea, so it's worth watching the show. And of course, you take a little nugget from each one, You know, he's got one good idea out of the whole fucking bunch of them, and you take a little idea from over here and you put them together and you make up your own little plan. Okay. Anyway, all right. Thank you everybody for watching much, and catch you on the next one. And if you haven't already, your connection is unstable. Please wait a while we reconnect. It's the same channel here. It's just I do cookery and live streams on the same channel. Yeah, check them out. If you want to hit the subscribe, go right ahead. And even if you've already subscribed, anybody who's watching, you are on the all option. You know, that way you click that and then you'll be notified of everything. When I go live, when I load up a new video, you know, you'll be told. I mean, at least you don't have to watch every video, but at least you'll have the option of being notified of when I have loaded up a video, you know. Anyway, thank you very much, and I'll call that a night. Good night.